his gleaming roan, the Swede had inquired of Joey's father in stilted English as to the availability of a laborer unafraid of hard work. Joey's father offered up his oldest son for a share of Joey's earnings. As Joey loped away on Gustav's extra mount toward the green mesa, looming 2,000 feet above the cannon farm, he directed a triumphant glance back at his siblings, chief among them Carl, a year younger and equally determined to escape the hard-scrabble life he shared with Joey in the Mancus Valley. In Gustav's employ, Joey worked his way across the plateau with the 3 other members of the Swedes' hired excavation team, moving from one ancient, abandoned stone and mortar housing complex to the next. Prehistoric people had constructed the multi-story dwellings deep in the plateau's canyons over many centuries, until the people had deserted the mesa en masse for unknown reasons, leaving an abundance of their worldly goods behind. With his fellow workers, Joey collected and packaged in straw-filled crates the ancient people's abandoned possessions, finely crafted clay pots and mugs, clothing and jewelry, including beaded turquoise necklaces, deerskin blankets, and turkey feather shawls, projectile points, knife blades, and hide scrapers flaked from obsidian, and spiritual fetishes and children's toys fashioned from wood and clay to resemble rabbits, ravens, great horned owls, and big-horned sheep. Joey and the other hired hands also removed human remains interred in midden piles below the abandoned complexes, perfectly preserved skulls and full skeletons of adults, and the corpses of infants wrapped in blankets and tucked in reed baskets. Gustav rode back and forth between the plateau and his suite in Durango's Strader Hotel, assessing the team's progress during his visits to the remote canyons that cut straight down into the top of the sandstone plateau, and communicating by letter and telegram while in Durango with his primary financier, his father, the famed Baron and noted Arctic explorer Adolf Erik Nordenskjold. At the height of the collection process, Gustav was detained in his room at the Strader, accused by local authorities of the theft and attempted removal of cultural items from the United States. But the young Swede's wealth and connections resulted in his release after only a few hours. His succinct telegram home, the contents of which he shared with Joey, said it all. Much trouble, some expense, no danger. Brief though it was, Gustav's detainment spurred him to move up the departure date for his return to Europe, and to single out Joey for the solitary mission in the heretofore unexplored canyon on the far west side of the plateau, culminating in tonight's hurried dig. Midnight was less than an hour away when Joey broke through a layer of dried mud and intertwined sticks with the tip of his shovel, punching into the chamber at the bottom of the depression he dug over the preceding hours. He twisted the shovel, ripping apart the thatched twigs to create a blade-wide opening through the roof of the vault beneath his feet. He squatted and reached through the opening into the concealed chamber, his arm disappearing to his elbow. Sweeping his hand back and forth, he captured only air in his extended fingers. He lay on his stomach and extended the full length of his arm through the opening. He grinned as he swung his arm through the stale air of the vault. This had to be the secret chamber Gustav sought. Joey's fingers struck something stone-like standing upright in the hidden space. The unseen artifact toppled over with a quiet clink. He withdrew his arm. The stale odor of must seeped from the vault. Thatched willow branches, sheared by his shovel blade, formed a ragged edge around the mouth of the opening. He gripped the thatched branches and tugged. A portion of plaited sticks and dried mud the size of a dinner plate came away in his hands. He tore off additional chunks of sticks and mud. He directed his lantern through the enlarged opening and into the chamber. The toppled artifact lay on the dusty floor of the vault beneath it.